What's up guys, I'm Jack, you're watching JBTCG, and today we're going to be talking about reprints, especially Lost Abyss, Incandescent Arcana, and Paradigm Trigger. This is going to be a more laid back video, more of a candid, me discussing my thoughts and opinions on what I think the future holds for Pokemon investing and what kind of precedent this is holding. I got my coffee here with me. Let's get into it. So first up, the news. So Lost Abyss, Paradigm Trigger, and Incandescent Arcana have all been announced as getting reprinted in, I think, July. I don't know exactly who the original announcer was. I assume it was the Pokemon Company in Japan, but it was reported on by multiple respected and trusted figures in, I don't know, the Pokemon marketplace space, if you want to call it that. Sneaker Dunk has an article on that and stuff like that. So this isn't just me talking out of my behind. I'm not just making all this stuff up. So if you aren't invested in Japanese or know any of the Japanese sets or market, generally Japanese sets, they are one half of English sets, and they kind of combine two Japanese sets to make one English set, essentially. And Lost Abyss is basically Lost Origin, Paradigm Trigger is Silver Tempest, and Incandescent Arcana is in there as well. So why are these sets getting reprinted? Well, in the Sneaker Dunk article, they mentioned that neither of these sets, or any of these sets, have not been reprinted once since their release. And this is an important note to make, especially when we kind of translate this into English and we think about how this may affect English or the precedent it's setting. These sets have not been reprinted in Japanese. Now, I might be wrong, but that is what was reported, and that's what I'm going to go off of. Let me know if you know anything else in the comments, or if you disagree or have found something that proves that false. So to kind of get a background on why the Pokemon Company is doing this, we have to look at their main goal and mission statement with modern Pokemon TCG. So their main mission statement nowadays is to kind of be anti-scalper. They are heavily against scalpers. They've made it very clear, and their goal is to get cards and products and things like that into the hands of players and collectors. So when prices get really expensive or things get scalped, that's kind of going against their mission statement, so they want to combat that. So these sets never got reprinted, and because of that, they were kind of scalped, and the prices for these boxes has gotten pretty expensive. So Paradigm Trigger was up, I think, around $100, and Lost Abyss was near $200. And the MSRP for these sets is down $40. So if you think about it, that's 5 times MSRP for a Lost Abyss booster box. That is really expensive. If you translate that to English, that's 143 times 5, that's $700. That's really, really expensive for a booster box. And because of that, it's kind of making the game inaccessible for certain players. If you don't have a ton of money, you're not going to be able to just get booster boxes, open the products, and then use the cards you get to play. And that's not what the Pokemon Company wants. They want everyone to be able to play. So they're reprinting these sets, and obviously it makes a lot of sense why they're doing it. And I think it's going to be great. I am personally not invested in Paradigm Trigger or Lost Abyss or Incandescent Arcana. Not invested in any of them so far, but I would like to be. I really like Lost Abyss, and I like how Japanese booster boxes have that full front panel of artwork on them. It looks a lot nicer than the English counterparts, where you just kind of get that white front with the Pokemon logo, and then you get a little bottom banner with a design on it. And Giratina is my favorite Pokemon, or one of. I have this PSA 10 copy of the V-Star Universe card. So I would love to get a full panel artwork of Giratina on a booster box. So that's more of a personal, I want this box kind of for collection reasons, kind of for investment reasons. But yeah, as someone who's not invested in any of these sets, this is a great opportunity. I don't see them reprinting these again. If you're worried about that, these will go out of rotation next spring. I think it's April's when rotation kind of flips. So I don't see them getting reprinted in July and then them having to do another wave before April. So I think this is probably going to be the best entry point time. This is one I'm going to be buying personally. Now, what does this mean for English? So this is the more unclear, speculative part of this video. I'm not really certain yet. So one of the reasons that they reprinted these sets in Japanese was because they never got reprints. But when you look at Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, they have gotten reprints. Those sets have been reprinted. I think it was in the fall of last year they were reprinted. So I don't know if they're going to reprint them again. If any set was more likely to get a reprint than the other, it would be Lost Origin, just because the prices for Lost Origin products are getting fairly expensive, like the booster box is above 200. The ETBs are climbing into the high 30s, low 40s. So I could see them reprinting Lost Origin. Silver Tempest, I feel like, I don't know. The ETBs are in the 20s, very low 30s. The booster boxes, you can still get them at MSRP. The market value is obviously a little more expensive, but they are on the Pokemon Center. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with those sets, because obviously they are still in rotation. They're definitely not like able to be reprinted, but it's definitely not outside the realm, is what I want to kind of say. And we'll run through two hypotheticals for if it doesn't get reprinted or if it does, because either way, I think it's going to be perfectly fine if you're an investor long term. If you're like a flipper, I think this might be like a little bit shaky. I'd be paying attention to the news a lot more than like a long-term investor would, I guess, because this could obviously affect how you're making money. But let's say from a long-term investor, it doesn't get reprinted. Stays the course the way we expected it to, all this stuff. Boxes are going to get expensive. That's about it. They'll start ticking up, no doubt. I think Lost Origin could clear 300 by the end of, I don't even know. I mean, maybe 300 by the end of next year. I don't think that's a crazy statement at all. It could do it earlier than that, but I think that's a good conservative guess. Silver Tempest, I think, will clear 200. Maybe within a month after it goes off the Pokemon Center. So whenever that date is, it'll start ticking up. And then after that, these boxes will just slowly get more and more expensive as long as the demand around Pokemon, the love for collecting these sets, love for alt arts, as long as all that stuff stays healthy, these boxes will continue to tick up as supply kind of leaves the market, with whatnot streamers, just your average person at home opening boxes, TikTok breakers, things like that. So if they don't get reprinted, the boxes are going to get expensive, and pretty simple there. Now, if they do get reprinted, and I'll make up an arbitrary date for them to get reprinted because, I don't know, just to make it easier. So I don't see them getting reprinted in the spring of next year, because at that point, it's kind of like a lost cause, or it serves no purpose, because they'll be going out of rotation in April. So reprinting them in March, I mean, yeah, sure, it'll bring prices down and more people to get access to them for that month, but that's about it. It's not like that's gonna help us for the next, I don't know, 6 months. So if a reprint does come for these sets, I think early fall, summer to early fall, and maybe into late fall, early winter, but I don't see it coming later than that, because I don't think it would serve a purpose. It wouldn't make logical sense for them to not reprint these sets in the next 5 to 6 months and then decide, yeah, we should reprint them in the 3 or 4 months before they go out of rotation, if that makes any sense. It wouldn't make sense to their mission statement. It would make a lot of sense to reprint them soon. But whether or not they do that is kind of up in the air. So let's say they do reprint them in September. Prices for both of these booster box depends, say they reprint everything. Prices for all these products will drop with the increase in supply. Pretty simple. All right, my camera died, so I'm gonna have to refilm the last part of this. But what I was saying was, I think just that if things get reprinted in September, they reprint everything, that the prices are gonna drop, obviously with the increase in supply, and then that'll just lead to a greater entry point for everyone who wants to buy into these products or open these products. And I think that the lower entry point will make it so people can justify opening these products easier to themselves, their friends, their spouse. So I think a lot of these products will get opened. The singles market will kind of go down for all of these singles and these sets. And And same with the sealed products, they'll go down with the increase in supply. But I think the sealed market will start to tick up quicker than the singles market because there's the kind of lag between box price and then single price usually. But I think that in the long term, these boxes will definitely increase. They'll break 200. I'm very strong in them. I believe that they'll break 300 and Lost Origin even 400 without any problem at all. As long as the Pokemon hobby stays like safe, I guess, and strong, which it has been. It's been pretty much the strongest like TCG or collectible card game that you can invest in for the last 5-10 years, in my opinion. You can say that other ones can compete with it, but Pokemon has been so strong, and boxes have increased across the board. So I don't have any real worry for these boxes. If you go back a good amount of time to Primal Clash and Roaring Skies, that era, those boxes I think were the first to get this huge type of reprint across the board, where the prices of these boxes tanked down into way below these boxes have ever been, like $70-$80 for Roaring Skies, which is crazy to think about now because those boxes are so expensive. But if you look at them now, even though there's a massive flood of supply and people couldn't even sell them, they're worth $500-$600 now. So eventually supply dries up. I'm not at all worried about it. If they don't get reprinted, then I'll just be laughing to the bank with the products I already have. And if they do get reprinted, I'll buy some more, and then I'll be laughing to the bank in the future. So not worried at all. But let me know if you guys have any like thoughts on reprints or different opinions than me, especially. I'd love to hear any different perspectives you guys have. And big thanks to everyone who's been subbing. We gained like 115 to 120 subs in the last like 10 days, which is huge. That's crazy growth. So I appreciate every single person that's been like following, subbing, watching the videos, liking, and to everyone who comments. I really enjoy just like checking in on YouTube and seeing you guys comment, and that way I can like have a conversation with you guys in the comments. It's really cool to hear you guys' perspectives and opinions. So yeah, that's all I got today. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.